And he was like, look, they used a hurricane that sat off the coast of New York to topple the 9/11 towers. And he was like, oh my God, I got to get this out there. And he got it out there, and he went and told people. He's like, look, they used a hurricane to create a low pressure zone, and that's what toppled the towers. It wasn't the plane. And they're like, okay, guy. Okay, fella. No, it's not conspiracy time either. Is it goofy time? Nope, it's not goofy time. The time for goofy's fucking over. I'm done with goofy. I tried to make this a comedy podcast where it was funny, haha, laughy laugh all the time. I found that that's not the way the world is, so it's serious time. It's truth exposing time. It's taking down the pedophile elite ring time. It's battle time. They've exposed this to our faces. We gotta let them know we're aware of it so they can come to our houses and kill us. But that's okay. I ordered this. What's that called at the front door? A welcome mat. I ordered this welcome mat on Amazon. It says, I hope those are level 4 plates. Have you seen that one where it looks like it's like beautiful writing, it's cursive and everything. It says, I hope those are level 4 plates. I'm put that in my house so they know that, oh, you can just drone strike my house instead. Yeah, do not breach that door. Now, to be honest, if they breached my door, I'd sleep through it and they'd just come in and kill my family. Like, I'm a heavy sleeper. So I'll put shit like that at my door and I'll arm the fuck up and I'll just buy thousands of rounds of ammunition just for them to just bust my door in. The rest of my family wake up, die, and then I'm just in there like, me. I'm just in there schnoozing.
Nah, homie, you would go John Wick on they asses. Why don't you go ahead and hit us with the intro?
Welcome to the Goofy Fella Show. The time for Goofy is over. Season 2. You guys are at the cusp of what's something great to come. Dave's got something special for us today. I should have done this while you were getting chicken. I shouldn't have started it. I got to get a beer, so I'll catch the tail end of it, Dave. You can go ahead and all right, no, just fill air for like 20 seconds.
Hello, my name is Parky and I don't mind a good conspiracy every now and then, but when this Jake guy starts talking about lead paint being good for you, it makes me not want to be his friend anymore. My name is Dave. I may sound exactly like Parker, but I am my own person and should be treated as such. I think both of these guys are complete clowns, and they are not the good smelling kind of clown either. Oh God, he is coming back. Don't tell him we were talking about his lead paint thing. I really don't want him to get into that. It's not a good one.
Dude, what are you talking about? You talking about my lead paint thing? We'll get into that. We'll get into that one. That's a good one. What you got?
Hello, I'm Dave, and I am not much of a conspiracy theorist. However, hearing your nonsensical ranting over the past few years has got me wondering. One thing I was thinking about recently is, how is it that America has allowed foreign countries such as China and Russia to pose a threat to us in the cyber world? China is using TikTok to spy on our youth and steal our information, while Russia has had so much influence over our elections. If America is the greatest country ever, why are we allowing this to happen? Also, why are we allowing our colleges to turn our younger generation into spineless autistic commie bastards?
That's a good question. Wait, what was the first part of your question? I was pulling up paint. I'm taking notes.
Say top dog if you were brain dead.
Top dog.
Have you pooped your pants today?
Yes. Oh, I remember. I get you. Parker, you answer first. I'm gonna turn it around.
Is America the good guy in your eyes?
No, absolutely not. No. In my mind, Russia and China don't do shit without Israel or America saying it's okay. So after World War II, the Rockefellers basically purchased the entire world. The Rockefellers and all the other large families in the country, in the United States, they not only purchased the education system, which was a part of your question, I think. You asked about the schools, didn't you? The colleges. So the Rockefellers paid to bail out the United States. In return, they got control of education systems, and they got control of the entire world. So what we've done is we've proven that no one can combat us after World War II. We have 11 aircraft carriers. No one can compete with that. That's half of the world's aircraft carriers. And so not a decision is not made without the US's and Israel's okay with it. And so every single war that has been post-World War II has been a war that the United States has decided we're doing this for a reason. Whether the reason is the poppy fields, the poppy fields were Afghanistan. The entire Afghanistan, Iran, 9/11, all that ties into drugs. Because the United States, our main income is drugs and running drugs into our country, running drugs out of other countries. And so Afghanistan told us, hey, we're not going to do poppy fields anymore. We're done making heroin. And for anyone, poppy's the main ingredient in heroin. That's how heroin's made. And so these poppy fields that are in third world countries, we rely upon those to create heroin and then buy it and then bring it into this country and destroy our country. So Afghanistan said, hey, we're not doing poppy anymore. And we said, okay, we're going to come in there and level you guys and grow poppy after that. So that was the reason for Afghanistan. Every single war after World War II, we've decided, hey, we're going to do a war here. So like the whole Ukraine-Russia war, that was all planned by us and Israel. This thing going on now with Israel and Hamas, that's all planned. All this stuff is things that we've decided to do. I don't think that Russia and China make a decision. They can't do shit. So TikTok and the destruction of children, their brains, that's all CIA. All that is America's CIA. So no, I don't think the USA is the good guys in this situation.
But why would our own country be doing that to itself?
They're not doing it to us. So you're tying yourself in with the elites. You're tying yourself in with the people on Wall Street who are profiting off of the drugs coming into this country. You're tying yourself as just a...
But why pull this bull honky on United States citizens when there are hundreds of third world countries full of brown people they could be bullying?
Well, you think they're leaving the third world countries alone?
Oh God, well, I would sure hope not. Those are my least favorite types of countries. I just don't know what the elites could benefit from doing this to their own people.
From their mouths, from the Economic Forum, from their mouths, the plan is you will own nothing and be happy, and we'll go to a one world government. So this bonjour, Eiffel Tower baguette business, that's all bullshit. It's not about countries. It's not about China and Russia and Ukraine, and it's just we need to get it to where we can control them enough to create this one world government where there's very, very few of them. And we're the elites. We run everything. And so that's why they're into depopulation. That's why they're real big into abortion and vaccines and things like that, if you want to go into such things, which I love going into such things. But that's the reason. And if you want to go deeper into that reason, the deeper, which I learned all this from Alex Jones, which I'm convinced is the smartest man in the whole world. Except for this Icke character I'm looking into recently. David Icke, I-C-K-E. He's been doing this longer than Jones has. Looking into this, looking into corruption, looking into the pedophiles, looking into all this stuff. And I didn't know about David Icke until recently. But they talk about how once the CIA and NASA, the highest levels of government you can get to, they start getting involved with experimenting with psychedelics, and then they start communicating with demons through the demons, interdimensional demons. They call them interdimensional aliens. They don't really know what they are. I'm convinced that they're demons because I see I see everything as good and evil. And so there's always a battle between good and evil going on, and you can call that religious if you want. You can call it whatever you want. I choose to call it religious because of my religious views. And so I view it as good and evil, like the Bible says good and evil. Angels and demons. And I believe that through the use of psychedelics, they're able to communicate with these demons, and the demons are giving them instructions and then giving them incentives to carry out what they want done. And so that's why they want the one world government. That's why they want to depopulate the earth, because that's what the demons want. The demons want less humans. They want the humans that are here to have no morals, no family values, and that goes into everything you're seeing. That goes into everything like why are they exposing our children to, how to masturbate at the fucking when they're in the first grade? Why are they exposing all this stuff? It's to make it to where the humans that are left here, which they want a lot less of them, have no values, have no morals, and are more susceptible to the demons.
It might be demons, bro.
It might be demons.
Okay, I have a real thought provoker for you, King. If the elites have omniscient power as you say they do, how is it they have let someone like Alex Jones have a platform to speak on?
I don't know.
Don't you think they would silence anyone who is exposing the truth?
I could come up with some bullshit answer, but I don't know. I haven't really looked into why they let opposing opinions be. And so it seems like they don't.
Allowing opposing opinions is one thing. I can understand that. But when Alex Jones tells a large audience the whole truth about what they are doing, don't you think they would put a stop to that? PSI Dave do think that they are using fluoride to turn the freaking frogs gay.
So I go back and forth between different levels because I have different levels of conversations with people. So like I'm still a human being. I still have to have, I can't rant to the guy I'm talking to at the gas station about lead paint. I can't do it because I'd be executed, And so I have to talk to that guy. I gotta go down a level to talk to that guy. And then I go talk to my grandpa and he wants to talk about, the Jags game. And so I have to back up another level. The guy at the gas station gets it. I'm going to talk to him about some shit. I'm talking to him about Epstein. I'm talking to him about their fucking kids. My grandpa, I don't want to do that to him. He's got enough going on. He doesn't need to know about this shit. He doesn't have to deal with it. So I'm going to talk to him about the Jags game and shit. And so I go through different levels. When I'm talking to my grandpa, I'm talking about like, I dumb myself down to it's the Democrats versus the Republicans, which I think is probably the dumbest point take you can have on it. It's like if we could just fucking get Trump back in, dude. This Biden.
Actually, Trump is a racist and I prefer Biden. I am Parker, by the way.
when I'm talking to my grandpa,
Really, the reason I like Joe Biden so much more than Trump is because he is more handsome than the orange man, and it really gets me going.
I don't want to get it twisted. I want Trump back bad. So, I want Trump back something fierce. But when I talk to my grandpa, it's stuff like, if we could just get this Biden fella out of the White House, everything would be fine. It'd all be fixed. It's all...
He might think Biden is sexy just like I do.
No, I mean, if he did, I thought about that. I'm being respectful to him. It's like, I'm not going to involve my pops. I'm not going to involve Pop into my crate. He's not going to be happy with what I'm talking about, but that's fine. That's my burden to bear. I'm an outcast from society. People look down on me for having these views. I get that. I understand that. But it's not something I can ignore. I try to be like, look, people are calling me crazy for thinking this way and going down these rabbit holes I go down, which probably most of them are bullshit. I acknowledge that. Look, I just acknowledged my family's dying if someone tries to break in here. I'm a realist. But when I talk to my grandpa, it's that level. When I go and talk to the cashier at the gate, I forget what your question was. I got it. So I go back and forth between that, where it's like, it's the conservatives and the liberals, and then I'll go into, it's just a free market, which it's kind of the same conversation, a free market versus socialism. And so a free market would allow Elon Musk to get in power just because they don't have any power over a free market. If the dude's going to make something that can make money, he can make money and get up to that level of power. The elites don't have power over that. Well, that's me talking to Gate gas station guy. Yeah, me talking to Gate gas station guy is the elites don't have power over the free market because the people say what happens. Bullshit. When I'm talking to some real schizophrenic fellas, when I look in someone's eyes, when I look in someone's eyes and I just see nothing going on in there, Musk is a psyop. He's a plant. He's a fed. Someone put in there. He's autistic. I love him. I love Joe Rogan. I love Trump. They're feds, unfortunately.
Now hold on 1 second there, bucko. If you're trying to tell me my best friends Joe Rogan, Donald J. Trump and Rick from the hit TV show Rick and Morty are feds, then you have another thing coming.
Well, one second. The last level where it's like, they're all feds, is I don't think that you can become popular in today's society in the overbearing CIA and the overbearing FBI. I think to gain popularity, and this is kind of the chicken and egg conversation, which one came first, the chicken or the egg? So like all people in power are allowed to be in power. You have to pass through a certain vetting process, which was the Epstein thing. In order to become popular, you have to go through this threshold. Unfortunately, the threshold is fucking children. You have to have sex with a child, we have to videotape it, and then we hold that over you. So then you can pass over into power, but that power that you have, we control. Because if you don't do what we say, we're going to release the videotapes of you fucking kids. And so, but then also, the chicken and egg part of it is, that's the egg. The chicken is, once you get into power, are you attracted more towards these bad things that happen in society? It's like, come to our fancy party, come to our fancy island, do a little drugs, fuck a little kids, situations like that. But I feel like if it was that situation, there would be more whistleblowers. There would be more congressmen who were like, look, this is what they're doing. They're doing this. I didn't do it. Here's what they have going on. So the fact that there's not as many whistleblowers either means it's not real and I'm a crazy person, or it means that in order to get to that position of power, like where Elon Musk is, you have to cross that threshold, that evil, demonic threshold. That was my final point on your question of why is Elon Musk in that position of power. I have different levels to that. I have different answers to that question, depending on who I'm talking to. And I mix them up because I don't know, dude. I have a life. I do normal stuff, and I'm just trying to fit this in on the side, but I try and think about it.
Well, why don't you try turning it off, you mongoloid freak?
Well, how do I turn it off? Heroin? Give them the CIA money through heroin?
Where I run into a roadblock following your conspiracy theories is I can't imagine a normal person planning for all this chaos and carnage. We are all given an allotted amount of time on this planet of around 80 years, so why would you want to waste it planning for the demise of a civilization? Unless what you say is true about the demons and their promises.
Yeah, the demon thing is what it kind of, every conspiracy theory I dive into, kind of, it's like, why would they do that? Oh, it kind of leads to that. So if what they're promised by the demons is eternal life or something like that, it may explain why they're not working within the constraints that normal people are. Eternal life, or maybe they know they're communicating to demons. Maybe at a certain level in knowledge in this, you get to a point where you're like, oh my God, the angel and demon and God and Jesus shit's real. All that shit's real. And the only way I can redeem myself at this point from damnation is to do what they want. They promised me, I won't have to suffer. And so I have to push this, and the only way I can push it is through these paid politicians that I have video footage of them doing heinous acts. I have to use them to push the agenda of the demons. And congressmen, that's all they are. But once you get to, the elites, I don't know what they want. Congressmen aren't the elites. Congressmen, senators, they aren't the elites. They're just they're puppets that are being used, and how are they being used? Well, they're being lobbied. So the thing that we're all aware of, and we kind of draw a blind eye to, is every time someone brings up like, hey, how is it that Nancy Pelosi, on a salary of $125,000 a year, is worth $86 million? Has she been working for the past 300 years? I don't think so. So how is it she's worth that much money? And every single politician, you can go through that. Every single congressman, every single senator, you can go look at how much money they make a year, and then you look at their worth. You look at the house they're living in. You look at the cars they drive. And you're like, they can't afford that. Where are they getting that money? And then we're like, oh shit, I forgot. The fucking Jets are playing this weekend. I better catch the game. And we ignore, oh, I forgot the UFC's on this weekend. I better catch that. And so because just earlier I was researching for this, and I got caught up watching Bullet Train shorts. And then I forgot completely about it. It was like, oh, I don't care. I'm watching Bullet Train. What's the next movie I want to watch? Oh, shit, I got work tomorrow. I better think about that. And so you forget about it. But it's very odd. You see the politicians, you see how much money they make, and you see their net value. And then you're like, that's weird. And then you forget about it. That means something. If you have a politician who has more money than they should, they're getting that money from somewhere, and it's from lobbyists. It's from people paying them money to say something. And that doesn't work all the time. Like I said earlier, you'd have more whistleblowers than you do now. You'd have more people who would be like, I'm not taking the fucking money because they're telling me to do this awful stuff. Here's what they're doing. So that's not enough. The money's not enough, so they have to have negative incentive. Money is positive incentive. The other thing is negative incentive. If you come out and tell people that we're giving you money because we're doing this, we're going to release this video. Or we're going to release the Epstein list. which they still haven't released. Why haven't they released who visited Epstein's island? Okay, well, that's it. That's it. They're on it, and so they can hold that over them. Be like, look, we haven't released Epstein's list, and these dumb donkeys who are worried about the UFC fights and worried about work the next day, they're going to keep just forgetting about it. And we can hold this over you forever, just like they have with the JFK assassination. Every single president that's been in since the JFK assassination said they were going to declassify the documents from it. There's like 5,000 files that are still classified from the JFK assassination. Trump said he was going to do it. He didn't do it. Obama said he was going to do it. He didn't do it. Bush said he was going to do it. He didn't do it. Byron went, corn pop. They every single one, when they're going in, they say, I will release the JFK documents, and they don't do it for some reason. And the reason is because they paid for all these senators. They paid for all these congressmen with that list, with the videos that are connected to that list. That's negative incentive to do what we want. We'll give you the positive incentive, which is millions of dollars, but that won't keep you quiet. The negative incentive will keep you fucking locked tight.
Why aren't there more deathbed confessions?
Deathbed's easier to hide. It's not easy to hide when you're in front of a microphone. When you're sitting in the house doing a meeting. You're like, listen, guys. And I don't know. It could be all fake. It could not be real.
Wouldn't you want to tell someone about this as you are about to die in a hospital bed?
Who's around them at that point? These people become so twisted and evil. When you have that, have you ever lied? You ever lied to someone?
No. I am perfect.
You ever had a long-term lie that your whole... It fucking twists at the inside of you. If you have a lie on the inside of you about, I did this terrible, terrible thing to this innocent person, maybe child. I don't know what they're doing. I kind of know what they're doing. That twists at you, and it turns your soul, because I believe humans have souls. I believe all things have souls. It twists at you, and it makes you become awful. And when you become awful, you do awful things. And when you do awful things, you don't have people around you. So when you're laying on your deathbed, the only people around you is the medical examiners. And
You would think at least one person would say fuck it and tell the truth.
The only answer I have to that is brainwashing and MK Ultra. And so like what they did to Mitch McConnell. So Mitch McConnell's getting towards that age where it's like, fuck it, dude. I'll tell him what's going on. And then he gets in front of a microphone and freezes. Maybe because of what he was about to say in front of that microphone. Maybe they flipped the switch on him. But if they can mind control, what's the point of the blackmail? Maybe it's just different levels of technology. Maybe, the MK Ultra project is brainwashing they did. They who's the guy with the swastika tattooed on his forehead? Not Dahmer. Manson. Manson was an MK Ultra project, to where the CIA brainwashed him to do all these terrible things and testing, and to see the limits of how far they could push a person and how much they could get away with through the media. Because the media was new at the time. During Manson, the news was new, and they had to test the waters. They had to be like, how far can we push things to where people ignore it? People focus on the Jets game. People focus on the UFC game, or the UFC fight. Let's do this Manson guy. Let's do this. Did you ever see the video of the Wendy show? They have this news anchor that's MK Ultra, and she has a spaz out while she's on, probably because she was about to say something. But the point is, that's how they get them in later ages. It's like, we have complete control over you, shut him down, or fry his brain. Joe Byron. They fried his brain, dude. I've seen old people. I worked with a guy that's Joe Biden's age. Dude was there. Joe Biden's not there. Because he's running on autopilot. They got him on autopilot. Every time he gets up there and be like, these brown people, and they shut him down. They shut him down, put him in a Roomba mode. He starts walking around. So that would be the answer of the conspiracy theorists to your question of, like, why don't we have the whistleblowers later in age? Yeah, they got families, they got kids, they got wives. They don't want to ruin that. Their career's going awesome. Dude, I just got a $30 million check from BlackRock. If I'm exposed right now, it all goes away. My kids go away, my family goes away, money goes away. And it's already a person who's approached the level of politician. They want to be a politician, so you know they're already not a good person. And so they're super corruptible. And they'll just go along with it. They'll be like, I could do this. I could do this for 30 years. And they do it for 30 years. In that 30 years, they're MK Ultra'd, brainwashed into, if you ever try and say anything, we're going to shut you down. They go like this. Boom. The Disney thing I'm looking into now is, I don't know the legitimacy of it. This is on archive.com, where they take things that have been deleted from the internet and they put them back up. And it's about Disney Cruise Line talking about a trip you could take to St. Thomas Island. St. Thomas and St. John, which is, St. Thomas is Epstein's. And it's talking about a snorkeling trip you can take there. And there's an image of Epstein at Disney in Cinderella's castle holding a little girl, taking a picture with her. And then later on, there's a picture of him in his private jet with the same girl. She's sleeping on his lap. And so, it's the same girl from Disney and from this plane. So it's not proof, but it falls in the line of Disney is helping traffic these children. And the only reason the children are getting trafficked, and the only reason for all this, is the vetting process that these elites do. To where, can you be trusted with power? And the only way you can be trusted with power is if I have something over your head. They did snorkeling trips there. The cruise ships, Disney cruise ships, took stops at Little St. James Island. Little St. James Island. Not St. Thomas, my bad. Little St. James. You could do snorkeling trips there. There were fun little cruise stops there. Nothing suspicious happening. Wait, what is this I'm seeing now? The former Walt Disney vice president was sentenced to 6 years in prison? Well, what do you think that was for? Maybe he didn't pay his speeding tickets, maybe? Usually vice presidents, maybe they don't, they usually go to prison whenever they do bad things. Like, look at Biden's son. He does bad things, and he went to prison, didn't he? I'm pretty sure I saw a video of Hunter Biden smoking crack and speeding right after one of his trials. He went to prison, didn't he? No, this guy went to prison for a sex abuse investigation of a minor. It looks like it was one charge of child rape. Jesus. No, not in the clear. What's his name? Michael Laney. Michael Laney went to prison for 6 years. He's a former Disney. So that just furthers into You know, the cruises and the snorkeling trips, that kind of leads in the line of it. And then you have vice presidents going to prison for child porn and shit like that. And then, you know, it just kind of follows. It kind of follows, like, how many children have gone missing in Disney parks. That's not great. That's not an ideal situation, I wouldn't say. What you got, Parky? What you been looking into recently?
Well, a little factoid I stumbled across recently is that Oprah eats babies.
Oprah eating babies? What's that called when they drink their baby blood? It's called, like, they got a word for it. They got a word for what's in the children's blood that is created from fear. If you guys know the word for what is created in children's blood whenever they go through fear, please leave it in the comments. My buddy at work says it all the time. But no, it's...
Yeah. Oprah do be eating those babies for real, for real.
You know is the biggest user of this. The biggest user of the baby blood. Hillary Clinton. No. Well, Hillary Clinton's been doing it way longer. Pizzagate? Pizzagate. Do you know what Pizzagate is? It's the pedophile ring. They mask it as this funny pizza. What is that, Freddy Fazbear? No, it's Hillary Clinton drinking baby blood. This is pedophile ring. I haven't seen evidence of Oprah doing it, but I have seen evidence of Hillary Clinton torturing and bleeding children and drinking it, which is on the WikiLeaks of her emails. Her emails between her and Anthony Weiner's wife, who was at the time her assistant. Talking about torture nights, talking about, you know, I physically got sick, and I think Dave was in here that night when I was physically sick reading all the stuff about that. And maybe I'm being misled. Maybe I'm reading a bunch of bullshit that's not real. That's possible. But what I was reading at the time, I was not a big fan of, and I felt like it was real, and it kind of grossed me out. Or maybe it's a bit squeamish.
Do you remember when you were talking about NASA and the CIA communicating with demons?
Talking about demons.
What if Hillary Clinton is the demon they're communicating with?
She's the one they're communicating with? They're just talking to Hillary?
Bro, think of all the terrible things she has done. She has for sure taken part in some demonish behavior.
Benghazi wasn't great. Benghazi wasn't great.
Hey, it's me, Dave. In the defense of Hillary Clinton, she does have some nice honkers on her. I mean, those things make me go a wooga.
Yeah, back when she was an attorney and made fun of the rape victim, just trying to get this rapist off. And I get being a defense attorney, but she kind of took it a little too far. And that was when she was young. That was like late 20s. Dude, if we could just get Biden out of office, I think all this stuff would clear up. I think it might be alright. I'll have a little bit more money. I wouldn't be opposed to a little more money. But why do you want a little more money, Parker?
The reason I want a little bit more money is so I can finish my gay boy pony toy collection. I am almost done. All I need is the Little Nas X pony and the Ellen pony, and I will have them all.
A little bit more money to buy more guns and ammunition, so I can not do anything with it and let my family die whenever an intruder comes in or the CIA comes in, and they ignore my, I hope there's a level 4 plate welcome at. But I'd sleep a lot better with all the guns and ammunition. No, I got my ears cleaned out earlier. Like last month, I got my ears cleaned out. I can hear way better. So I may hear the door open. I may hear the door get busted in. I got a couple locks as well. I watched a video of it was local police coming up and entering a person's code that they just got from the company. You know, they got from, I think it was Ring. You know, the Ring lock they had on their house. They just went in, entered in the code, and entered into the house. I think it was like a SWAT situation where it was a streamer. So it was like zero reason to be entering that house. They're like, yep, we got the code. Beep, 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 beep. Do you have the code one? Do you have the code? Yeah, they just give it up. That's why I moved over to Motorola. I got a Motorola phone now. Seen the new Motorola Razors? Kinda neat. It's a little flip phone, but it's a touchscreen.
Sounds like it is going to break within the first 9 days.
But it's just a distraction, just like the rest of this shit.
Have you heard about the backpack they make that can fit a gun in it?
Just talking about a normal backpack, Parker. Normal backpacks can hold all that shit.
No, my guy, this backpack is cool and badass. It can fit guns, and no one can tell you have them.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure a Fed didn't come up with that backpack. There's this company that's making these phones now. It's like where it doesn't use any cookies, it doesn't use any tracking. It's impossible to listen in on the phone call conversations. And it was on a podcast I watched. 100% a psyop. 100% a Fed made that phone, and it's for people that they want to listen into. The only person who would buy such a phone is someone they want to listen into what they're talking about. And so they buy that phone, they talk into it, be like, when are we having the meeting to overthrow the government? And then...
I think the government is bad.
Wow, that's creative.
Fuck, shit, balls, ass, damn, piss.
Well, there's no reason for cussing. Alright, well, I think that's all the juice we're going to squeeze out of that one. Thank you guys for being on. Dave, thanks for the good questions, dude. Those were good questions.